Hi, Paula Umel here, and I am creating a little video on birth chart reading to give you a little introduction before I send you the 25-30 minute overview of your birth chart. So this is just another piece of what I offer to clients who are interested in body, mind, spirit healing. This would definitely be part of the spirit healing because our astrology birth chart is our spiritual energetic architecture of who we are as a part of nature. So this is why I have this down here at the bottom. You are nature. We as humans have disconnected ourselves from nature. We've created this duality, and there is no duality. You are nature. There is no, I'm going to go out in nature. You are nature. You are as much nature as the trees. And when we come back into that understanding, we live differently. We think differently. We speak differently. We just move differently here on this earth, our home. So when I do a birth chart simple reading, I am sharing with you the energetic architecture of who you are as a human being at the exact moment you were born. So I'm going to move to the next slide. So this is a birth chart. I'm going to move my face. This is a birth chart. And if you go into astro.com and you go to extended chart selection, there's a few other things that you need to know. I learned it in this 15-month astrology mentorship that I am 12 months into. So a lot of things that I talk about when I do your birth chart reading, you may not don't feel bad if all these charts that I created, artistically created, because it helped me to integrate the information into my being if I sat down and did something artistic with the information that my teacher Tyler was presenting to me. So he also taught us how to go into astro.com and use the extended birth chart selection and create a birth chart. So because our birth chart is the energetic architecture of the exact moment of the universe when we were born, that is the energetic architecture of your spiritual being. I didn't use any persons here as this example, so you can see what I'm going to be working with. I use the exact moment in time that I clicked the email off to my professional editor for the book that I just finished writing a few weeks ago. This is March 17th, 2024. So it was probably 3 weeks ago when I shot the book off to her, zapped it. So I wanted to see what the energetic architecture of the universe was at that point in time for a lot of things around, book publishing options, the book's energy as it moves out into the world. That kind of getting very woo-woo, aren't I? Airy-fairy. And then I cut out this top part here, and this bottom part down here is the aspects chart. So what aspect are different planets to the other planets in your chart? And I'll use the word aspects again later. And I'm going to repeat. This is all stuff that I have learned in over a year. So if it sounds very foreign, don't panic and don't think I'll never get this or I'll never understand what she's saying in my little birth chart reading, which is not true. It took me time to understand this, and I am just a baby in my understanding. But I cut out the top and the bottom and then just put the actual wheel of the birth chart over here. So you could see what you're going to see in the little video that I'll send you that's personally yours. Okay, so I'm going to use this chart to explain some things today. And this chart I'll use a little bit. I'm going to put them in this video here so that you have them if you want to refer to them to pick over the energy of this information a little bit and try to figure it out yourself. Let's see here. And this is a chart on the aspects, and I'll get back to that. So let's just scoot back here. So this is the chart you'll see with your birth chart. I'll move this over to the right side of the page, and your round birth chart wheel will be here. And I'm going to, okay, so the wheel of the year, I'm going to get rid of myself here. I think I'm going to get rid of myself. Well, apparently it's not easy to get rid of me once I'm here, so we're going to leave me. The birth chart starts with Aries, which is springtime. It's the spring equinox. So Aries starts with the spring equinox, and we move around the chart. So the astrological year starts with the spring equinox, however you pronounce that, and it moves around the wheel of the year in astrological terms. And then from Aries, we go to Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and back to Aries. The signs, the sun signs of the charts are generally people who even know a little bit of astrology, know something about, and our whole modern take on astrology pretty much hovers around the sun sign, which there's so much more that is equally as important. And then in here, you'll see that I put, and I'm going to go over to this chart here with Aries. Aries is related to the first house. So there's signs in astrology and houses in astrology. The signs of astrology, this wheel around, is the year around the chart. The houses, these numbers that you see here on the inside, are moving through the days. So we move through the houses in a single day. The signs we move through in a year's time. The polarity that I put here, it's whether the sign is considered masculine or feminine. So you can see here on the chart, I'm back over here on Aries, it's the masculine sign. So Aries is fire, which is the next thing I was going to get to, and it's a masculine sign. So Aries is connected to the first house. It is masculine energy. It's a cardinal sign, which means it's the start of the season. So every, when we go around the chart here, Aries is the start of spring. Cancer is the start of summer solstice. No, wait. Hey, Aries, spring, Gemini. This is a cardinal, so it's the start of spring. Then we move over here to Libra. It's the start of fall in the middle of September, another cardinal sign. And then we move up here to Capricorn, cardinal sign at the start of winter. So cardinal signs are the start of the season. So Aries is a fire sign. Its expression is a spark. And its planet that rules it is Mars. And Mars is also a masculine energy. So you can go down this chart here and relate it to each one of these little pie sections over here. So this is Taurus. Taurus is connected to the second house. Taurus is considered a feminine sign. It's a fixed mode. It means it's the middle of the season. So the first sign of the season is cardinal. It's the start of the season. The second sign of the season is a fixed sign. It's the stable middle part of the season. And then the last sign of the season, Gemini would be the last sign of spring. It is a mutable sign. That means it's getting ready to change into the next season, which is summer. We move. It's the next sign of the summer solstice is cardinal sign. So you can just go across the chart here, and I'll just go back and start with Taurus. It's the second house connection. It's a feminine sign, and I did it in green because it's an earth sign. So over here we see earth. It's fixed. It's in the center of the season. its expression is in the mineral. So it's an earth sign that expresses in the minerals of the earth. And its planet of connection is Venus. Gemini, connected to the 3rd house. It's a masculine sign. It's mutable because it's the end of the spring season. It's an air sign. It's connected to the wind. Its expression is in the wind. So it's mutable, it's moving, it's wind. And then the planet is Mercury. And then we move down to Cancer, connected to the 4th house. It's a feminine sign. You notice how these go masculine, feminine, and the colors change in the polarity here because I use the color red for fire, green for earth, black for air, and blue for water. So Cancer, 4th house, feminine expression. It's a cardinal sign. It's the start of summer. It's a water sign. It's the expression of water in liquid water, lakes, and it is ruled by the moon. Leo, connected to the 5th house. It's a fire sign. And you can see not only did I do its polarity in the colors down here, whether it's fire, earth, air, or water, but I also did the signs in the color of it. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. So I don't have to go through all of these and explain them because I think I explained, and you can just follow that same train of logic across these. And then this chart here helps to explain this pie, this much more circular map of the astrology birth chart. This is more of a linear chart. So you can use this linear chart to then go back and look at the pie pieces and see all of these values, energetic values in each one of the pie piece. And this right here in the center is you looking out at the whole sky. So if this was an actual birth chart, your birth chart, that's you in the center looking out at the sky when you were born. So I'm just going to scoot back to this one. So right there, that's my book, looking out at the sky and what the sky looked like at the exact moment that my book was birthed to my professional editor. Okay, so this one, let me just move myself out of the way here. This chart here, and this is only if you want to use it, you don't have to. It shows us how the planets are lined up. So the sun is the center of our solar system, and that's the astrological symbol for the sun. What comes after the sun is Mercury, and that's the sign for Mercury. And then what comes after Mercury is Venus. And Mercury and Venus are inside the Earth's rotation around the sun. So they are the inside part of us. And then when we step out, and these colors do not coordinate to the colors on the chart back there on the last page. The sun is obviously fire. Mercury is an air sign. Venus is a more water, but I did it pink. Mercury is masculine, so I did it in blue. Venus is feminine, I did it in pink. And then we have the Earth rotating around all of it. So that's you. This is you rotating around it. And then the moon rotating around the Earth. That is you standing on Earth, looking out at the whole chart in the sky. Then we're moving away from the sun and outside of your realm in all of this in the universe. And now we have Mars here, masculine. Then Jupiter is the next planet out there. And where's my little cursor? Jupiter. And these are all the little signs, the astrological symbols for that planet. Saturn is next, Uranus is next, Neptune is next, and then Pluto. So that's just how it's layered. If we were the sun, that's what we would be looking out at. But we are at the earth here, because here we are standing on the earth looking at the sky at the time we're born. And this is what we see inwards towards the sun, outwards, looking at all the planets and our moon rotating around us every 28 point something days. Over here, this is the houses. So this is the first house, second house, third house, fourth house, and so on that I speak of in this chart here, the houses, and then moving this out of the way, the houses here. So it was just a different way that I recorded this for my own memory, for my own learning. I put the charts over here, or the houses, so I could relate the houses here to how they play out with the planets here. And then I think we just have one more. Yes, one more. So this chart here that I created is aspects. So if we went back to the birth chart, I'm just going to quickly go back here. The birth chart here. This is the aspects. So the sun and where it's in aspects to everything. So the sun is here. The moon is over here. And there is no aspect drawn on the chart. You see there's no line between the sun and the moon here. And that's because what is put on this chart here, it doesn't have an aspect for that. But let's see. Let me go the moon, and we'll follow the moon with its line right here to Uranus. So we go down here to the moon, and moon and Uranus is over here. So we scoot across this little bar here and up here to the moon. The moon is squared to Uranus. So I'm just going to use that as an example. The moon is squared to Uranus. And Uranus, a square, it's a 90-degree aspect. And that is a trigger aspect. So the moon and Uranus trigger each other. They challenge each other. And this is getting way deeper into astrology than what I will on your simple birth chart reading. I might do a couple of the aspects just to explain like how a certain sign impacts your sun sign or your moon sign or your rising sign. But to get deep into it, that would be like a 2-hour plus recording. And then down here at the bottom, I just created a very simple, the symbol for each one of the sun signs and what a one-word explanation of what that is. So Aries is the warrior, Taurus is the sensualist, Gemini is the messenger, Cancer is the nurturer, Leo is the creator, Virgo is the healer, Libra is the diplomat, Scorpio is the alchemist, Sagittarius is the explorer, Capricorn is the ruler, Aquarius is the maverick, and Pisces down here at the bottom is the mystic. And in most of them, what does the warrior mean? These are energetic characteristics of the warrior. The shadow side of it, if you're not expressing your light as the warrior, you're expressing your shadow side. The warrior is a selfish and aggressive energetic expression. And so I'm pretty sure I put the shadows down there on all of them. This was, again, a chart I just created for myself as I was going through this past 12 months of the course so that I could kind of click it into my being, integrate it, and try to remember it. So I put this little quote up here. Dipping into your astrological birth chart is a tool to look at your energetic architecture, both the light of it, the light that you came here to shine forth and share with people on this planet, and also your shadow aspects that you came here to heal. And yoga is healing work of the light and the shadow. Shamanic work, energy medicine, those people who have heard of shamanic work to use that word as opposed to energy medicine, which I kind of use them in the same context. It is a practice, a healing practice that you can go to someone else to work on your healing, or you can learn the practice to work on it yourself, to heal your energy. So you're checking into these shadow aspects and healing them so that your light will shine forth. You're not healing to be able to handle trauma. You're used to trauma. You're healing to be able to handle joy. I thought that explained it very well. We're releasing the shadow trauma aspects of ourselves so that we can shine in our light and joy. And the reason, whoops, just scooted backwards there. Okay, you get a little click happy here and strange things happen. The reason I shared the cover of my book is because it's working on these things. The trauma, the shadow aspect, bringing forth our light. And it's all part of healing modalities that you can choose to use or not. So sharing it here. Astrology, shamanism, energy medicine, yoga. Yoga is the shamanic energy medicine of India. They all are like woven together in the strands of the universe, and they are tools that you can use to help in your healing. And yeah, so I hope this helped you better understand when I create the short little birth chart video for you. Thank you for watching.